In this video, we'll be discussing Standard 12 from the domain Curriculum Teaching and Learning, or CTL 12. CTL 12 states, program utilizes resources including family engagement and teacher training and support to prevent suspension and expulsion. What's the intent? To ensure that programs proactively prevent suspension and expulsion by utilizing resources such as family engagement and teacher training and support, fostering inclusive, supportive environments that address children's needs through positive interventions. Programs can build trusting relationships and reduce long-term negative outcomes for children when suspension or expulsion is prevented. Ultimately, the goal of the standard is to make a concerted effort to do what we can to prevent suspension and expulsion and support family success. How many points are possible? This standard is worth up to 2 points and is either met or not met. What is the recommended evidence? Should you choose to support this standard in your program, examples of evidence include list of resources to support teachers and families who are supporting children with challenging behaviors with narrative on how resources have been utilized, family communication related to efforts to support appropriate child behaviors, evidence of resources being used, and family engagement efforts to prevent suspension and expulsion. The evidence should show how you're actively implementing the policy, procedures, and resources outlined in the policy you created for FS9. Research has shown that expulsion and suspension in preschool have long-lasting negative effects on children, while supporting families with concrete resources, knowledge, and opportunities for connection can mitigate challenging situations and stress. Taking a full Strengthening Families Protective Factors training is recommended to learn how you can create a systemic approach to supporting families and reducing the likelihood of challenging behaviors, adverse childhood experiences, and the need to suspend or expel children from preschool. In addition to strengthening families, some places may turn to the pyramid model and its online resources. You may also turn to your county's central intake or CCR&R for opportunities for supports for teacher learning or parent engagement opportunities. Additionally, offering ongoing parent workshops around challenging behaviors and developmentally appropriate parenting strategies at your program can provide some concrete supports for positive changes. Creating teacher-family support teams for challenging behaviors can also help those involved understand and address challenging behaviors. When you consider whether you're meeting the standard, ask yourself, are resources adequately used to prevent suspension and expulsion? Your beliefs and mindset play a critical role in the success of this strategy. It's important to approach the standard not as a compliance exercise, but as a meaningful opportunity to support each child and family with care and intention. Building trusting relationships requires a genuine investment in family success. Children and parents are far more likely to engage and grow when they feel respected, valued, and supported by the professionals working with them. You may have noticed that CTL 12 is similar to FS9 in that they both mention suspension. CTL 12 is different from standard FS9 in that FS9 requires a policy aimed at preventing suspension and expulsion. CTL 12 requires evidence of resources used to prevent suspension and expulsion. Now your QIP. As you create your plan, ask yourself these questions. Who on your implementation team will be responsible for the success of the standard, ensuring that there are resources, that teachers know how to use them, and the ongoing success of the prevention practice? Who is responsible for providing the resources to parents? How does the social emotional training educators receive in the CW domain create an environment that prevents suspension or expulsion? Where can you turn to for a list of resources for teachers and families around challenging behaviors, and who will be responsible for ensuring that teachers are knowledgeable on what the resources are and when they can be used? How will you approach your narrative on how you're using these resources? Keeping an ongoing journal or notes on your efforts can help you build your ability to show how you've been supporting families. How do you communicate with families regarding these resources? How frequently are the resources shared, and are they simply emails or printed flyers, or are they discussions around how to use them? What systems or practices can you put in place or have already implemented that intentionally help reduce parental stress, prevent challenging behaviors, and minimize the impact of adverse childhood experiences, ultimately lowering the risk of suspension or expulsion. What will your efforts look like within 6 months or a year? For further guidance on the standard and your specific program's needs, please speak to your technical assistance specialist.